Hey there, folks, buckle up, because I've got a story that'll make your jaw drop. A real-life drama that unfolded right in the chaos of LaGuardia Airport, Gate 27B, where one woman's words turned her whole world upside down. Picture this. It's a muggy summer evening, the kind where the air smells like burnt coffee and jet fuel, and everyone's just itching to get on their flight. That's where we meet Vivian Hartwell, a Manhattan socialite who thought she was untouchable until she opened her mouth and lit a match that burned her life to the ground. Vivian was the kind of woman who walked into a room and expected it to bow. 56 years old, draped in a tailored Armani blazer, her auburn hair pulled so tight it looked like it hurt. She was headed to Paris for her son Ethan's engagement party, mind you, to a French heiress with a vineyard estate that made the Hartwells' Upper East Side fortune look like pocket change. She was clutching her Hermes bag like a shield, checking her Rolex every 30 seconds, muttering about the incompetent airline staff as the Paris flight got delayed by an hour. To Vivian, this wasn't just a delay, it was a personal insult to her carefully curated universe. Now, the gate was packed, a real melting pot of people, families, business types, tourists, you name it. Vivian, though, she's in the priority lounge, sipping sparkling water, eyeing the crowd like they're trespassing on her turf. She's on the phone with her husband, Lawrence, whining about the riffraff in the terminal when boarding finally starts for first class. She struts to the front, cutting off a young couple with a toddler, the Thompsons, nice folks, by the way, headed to Paris for their first big family trip. Vivian settles into seat 2A, her sanctuary, but then she notices something that makes her stomach twist. The Thompsons are in row 3, a black family, chatting softly, their kid giggling over a coloring book. Across the aisle, a black executive in a sharp suit is typing away on his laptop. And further back, more black passengers, all in first class, all perfectly at home. To Vivian, this wasn't right, it didn't fit her idea of what her space should be. So, she flags down the lead flight attendant, Karen, a no-nonsense woman with 20 years of wrangling passengers under her belt. "Can you do something about this situation?" Vivian whispers, her voice dripping with that fake concerned tone you hear from people who think they're being subtle. Karen raises an eyebrow. "Ma'am, what situation?" Vivian leans closer, her eyes darting to the Thompsons. "I'm just not comfortable. There's too many of those people here. I paid 10 grand for this seat, and I don't feel safe." The cabin goes dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop. The Thompsons freeze. The guy across the aisle looks up, his fingers pausing on his keyboard. And a kid in 1C, some vlogger named Jake, starts recording on his phone, sensing something big. Karen's face tightens, but before she can respond, Vivian doubles down. "This is an American airline, not some charity flight. I want to speak to the captain. Now." "Oh, Vivian, you poor thing, you didn't know the captain was already there, standing just behind the galley curtain, checking the manifest." Captain Marcus Reed steps out, a tall man in his 50s, his uniform crisp, his presence commanding. And yeah, he's black, a decorated Navy pilot with 20,000 hours in the sky. He heard every word. The whole cabin's watching now, holding their breath. Marcus doesn't say a thing at first. He just looks at Vivian, his eyes steady, not angry, but heavy, like he's carrying the weight of every slight he's ever endured. Then he nods to the Thompsons, a small gesture of respect, and turns to Karen. "Secure the galley. We're not flying." Vivian's jaw hits the floor. "What do you mean, not flying? I have an engagement party to get to." Marcus doesn't even glance her way. He unbuttons his collar, takes off his captain's hat, and walks back to the cockpit. A second later, the first officer, Tom Nguyen, comes out, looking like he just saw a ghost. The intercom crackles. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer. Due to a crew issue, the captain has declared himself unfit to fly. All passengers, please deplane. This flight is canceled." The cabin erupts groans, curses, and a whole lot of glares aimed at Vivian. Jake's still filming, and you can bet that video's hitting the internet in about 10 seconds flat. By the time Vivian storms to the customer service desk, shoving past furious passengers, her face is all over X, captioned, "Manhattan Karen just tanked a Paris flight over her racist meltdown." It's got 100,000 views in an hour. She's screaming at the gate agent, Paul, demanding a new flight, demanding Marcus's name, demanding he be fired. Paul, who's already gotten an earful from airline ops, just stares at her. Ma'am, Captain reads a 25-year veteran. He cited FAA rules. Your comments created an unsafe environment. You're banned from this airline, pending investigation. Vivian's world starts to crack. Security escorts her out, her Hermes bag dragging behind her like a kid's blankie. Jake's live streaming the whole thing, and the comments are brutal. By Karen. Karma's a beast. That night, holed up in an airport Marriott, Vivian's life unravels faster than a cheap sweater. Her phone's blowing up with Google alerts, her name's plastered across blogs, CNN, even Fox. Her husband, Lawrence, calls, his voice ice cold. Vivian, you're on every channel. The board's livid. Hartwell Realty just disowned you in a press release. She gasps, they can't do that. We are Hartwell Realty. Lawrence laughs, bitter and broken. Not anymore. The board's invoking my morality clause. And Ethan, he's mortified. His fiancé's family saw the video. Did you know her mom's Haitian? You didn't just ruin your life, you tanked his engagement. Vivian's heart stops. She hadn't known. She'd been so obsessed with the Vineyard estate, she never bothered to look up the family. Ethan's fiancée, Claire, calls off the engagement, and Ethan texts one line. You're dead to me, Mom. Within days, it's over. Lawrence files for divorce, citing public humiliation. The lawyers strip her of everything. Park Avenue penthouse, gone. Charity boards, gone. Even her Amex is canceled. She sells her Rolex for a fraction of its worth to afford a bus ticket to Newark, where a cousin grudgingly lets her crash. A year later, Vivian's working the counter at Budget Wheels, a dingy rental car desk at Newark Airport, wearing a polyester vest that itches like regret. Her hair's gone gray, her eyes hollow. She's nobody now, just Vivian, on a crooked name tag, upselling insurance to annoyed travelers. One morning, as she's wiping down the counter, she hears laughter, real, warm laughter. She looks up, and there's Marcus Reed, now a chief pilot, leading his crew past the terminal. He's thriving, a hero in the airline world, his stand at LaGuardia now part of training manuals. His gaze sweeps the concourse, but he doesn't see her. Why would he? She's invisible now, a ghost in her own story. Then a black family steps up to her counter, their kids bouncing with excitement, and Vivian feels that old, ugly instinct flare up. She catches herself, terrified not of being that person again, but of losing this job, her last lifeline. She forces a smile, her voice flat. Welcome to Budget Wheels. How can I help you? Vivian's life didn't end with a bang, it ended with a whimper, in a beige airport terminal, serving the people she once despised. Was her punishment fair, or was it too cruel? If you were Marcus, would you have walked off that plane, or found another way to handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think about this mess. Hit that like button if this story hit you hard, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more real-life karma tales that'll make you think twice about what you say and who's listening. Word count, 998.